All right, so last time I filmed a little piece about the Hamskea rest. This one is the new R7 drop away from Hamskea, and I had some issues, but Hamskea was pretty awesome. They sent me some parts back out right away. It was just probably just a little bit of parts manufacturing issues, nothing too crazy, but they sent me all this stuff back out. Just was having some issues with the original piece, so hopefully this will help alleviate that. But I did have another Hamskea rest that I took another piece off of, so I had this setup with the spring, which I still like that setup. It's still a super good setup, but I'm gonna swap these ones out and set this one up real quick. I kind of did a quick little tie-on system here so I didn't have to get crazy, but it's real easy. You just kind of take one out, de-loop everything. It's kind of like a half braid or a half survival braid, just to kind of keep everything together for a little bit while I was waiting on those parts. But shouldn't take me long to get it all taken apart. I am going to end up with a big chunk of D-loop material, which is fine because I want this set up for long term and for hunting. If I change anything else out, I'll pretty much be set up at this point to do it myself. I have a new bow press coming in. I just liked to have the adjustable wheel on it. It's a little bit more of an ease thing. I know a lot of people are going to the pedal step and all that other stuff. I'm not super fond of that. I'd like to be able to adjust it the way I want to by hand. That way I don't over torque it or something goes wrong and that electrical pedal or whatever gets stuck and something happens. I just don't want that to happen. Sounds like a lot of people enjoy it. It seems to have good stuff. It might even have a safety on there. I don't know. I just like to have the feel, but I'll have that one. It's supposed to be here after a little bit, hopefully right for the season, for us the draws kind of come out, so that'll be good. But for now, I'm just tweaking everything on this. I'm gonna get this RX10 Ultra squared away, no matter what. That way it's ready to go for hunting. I have a couple of things that I wanted to try out this year, and hopefully they'll do me good for the rest of this season, maybe even next season. We'll see. I try not to buy a bow every season, but you know, sometimes I can't help myself. I'm a little bit crazy that way, but hopefully not. I really feel like this is a great all-around bow, and it's going to be really hard to beat. So I think I'm gonna just stick with it and try to make this work for me. Let's go. Come on. Yeah, that's pretty tight. But that's what came off of it, and that has the spring adjustment on there. Like I said, it's still a really good setup. If you have an older Hamskea, like I doubt you have any problems with it. I'm gonna put this back on, and then I have to kind of eyeball it a little bit to make sure that I'm getting enough on it when I pull it tight. So I think that should be fine. I hope that should be fine. That looks good. But here comes the fun part, is having to refeed this back. On one of my last videos, I did let people know you can burn the end, and instead of kind of making a mushroom, you can kind of tweeze it between your fingers, spin it, and it'll have a really good little pointy edge. Makes it a little easier to do stuff like this. So you can put it back through the bottom here, and it goes right in, comes right over the top. And then you close this in. I'm gonna put it pretty much exactly back where it was before. Clean it up a little bit. It does have some minor rub, but that's just because of the angle that I prefer it at. You got a little bit of that rub there, but not bad. And then this tiny little screw. This is probably the most painstakingly long part of this process, is getting this wedge in there correctly, and then getting this to sit in there correctly at the same time, because you don't want to smash it down right away, because then you're stuck with wherever your thing is at. But you have to line up the holes. That's the bad thing. But once you do, you shouldn't have any issues. But it's a little bit of a pain initially to do it, as you can see with these smaller parts. But obviously it's worth it. I'm doing it, so it's got its pros and cons. I think once it's set up though, I'm not going to have any issues as far as squeezing the string and getting it in there. It's just, like I said, there's a bit of a process to get this to squeeze it down once you line it up. So, but again, it might just be me having issues, but it is kind of a pain to get that wedge to line up perfectly before squeezing it down. And it's super hard to get that, to do that, especially with what I have it set up with. I think their previous string was fine. I don't like how it expands so easily, and maybe it's really good D-loop material as well, but I feel like every time I've set up a bow with actual D-loop material, it's come, you know, it's been really easy to work with, and I've never had it fall apart on me. You know, and like I've said before, when you're out here trying to do something for these elk hunts and, you know, deer hunts, and you're investing your time and your money, you kind of want something that's going to be pretty much bulletproof by the time you're already starting your hunt. All right, so I finally got it in there. I just had to wiggle it around a little bit, but now, see, now that it's on there, it's a little snug, so I can't even get the string to come straight through easily, which is fine. I'm gonna go ahead and tighten it my way, and then I'll adjust it. So I've already kind of pre-tensioned this particular string before, but there's always a little bit more that you can get out of it. I also like this little metal tab, because I can also use it to grip a little bit more and tighten it down. And if I have to redo this for it, you know, later down the road, it'll be kind of nice, because then I can tighten this. This actually pinches the string here, and then that extra little bit of string that I still want to have can be a little bit tighter, and then I can pull it tight, get it to where I want it. I like to see that thing's pretty flush before I start tightening anything, making sure that my whole thing's down. The cool thing about the R7 is, like, even as you tighten it down, it's gonna be perfectly where you want it. And then initially, if you have any issues with your actual, you know, arrow rest here, you can go back and adjust it. That's really, it's kind of neat. They've added a lot of stuff that I think that users have kind of mentioned, as far as adjustability and things that you can kind of do on your own, instead of having to take the whole rest off or having to adjust it left and right, up and down. There's some minor stuff that you can do, like adjusting your actual arrow rest to be at a certain position, up or down, and you can do everything from the rest itself, which is fantastic. This is probably the hardest part, and that's just getting that extra tension out of the string to make sure it's nice and tight. I'll end up tightening it down there, but I like to put a good healthy dose of tension on there. Obviously, most of it is going to come down to just stretching that string a little bit before you put it on, That helps a lot because you're actually just pulling the string through and not stretching the string. It's already pre-stretched. And then this right here is just keeping a little bit more tension on it while it's being tightened down. And again, if for whatever reason you start shooting in the season and it starts stretching, you can always take this out, relax it, but this tab doesn't always come with it. They have like a plastic one that I tried a few times to use. I was told it was mainly just to keep your string from bouncing around or whatever, keeping that extra string tidy. I like the metal one. The other one I broke pretty easily. It was just, I barely tried to pull on it a little bit and it just crumbled in my hands. It's not meant to have any real pressure on it at all, and it broke. So, and then with this one, I'm not trying to over tighten it at all. I don't want to mess anything up, but I do want to make sure that that wedge is nice and smashed against that string. I don't want it to have any chance of going anywhere while I'm still breaking this in. It's got plenty of shots through it right now, but you know, there's that nice and tight. So, and then I'll probably take this extra material off. I usually go down about 4 to 6 inches and tie it in. I'll tie it all the way up right here. But I think because I'm still shooting this and I'm still kind of making sure that this string is gonna work for me, then I'm gonna keep it long for now. And I'll put a regular draw tab on it. And put a, there you go. Yeah, that thing is super tight. But I don't think I'm gonna have any issues. I just feel like I'm gonna leave it like this for now, and then I'll eventually go ahead and take that extra material and tie it in. But I usually do about 4 to 6 inches of extra material, so I also have something to grab onto if I wanna tighten it down. Some people do it shorter. After it's probably been fully stretched however many times, you could probably go a lot shorter, but I like it like this. That way I do have something to grip onto a little bit when I'm retightening it down. If it's too short, then you don't have anything to hold on to, and it kind of becomes a pain in the butt. So I'll go ahead and cut this a little long. I don't mind. But now I have some extra D-loop material that's already stretched out a lot. I can always set this up, which I might retie this D-loop depending on if I use the lighted nocks this season or not, because I know that this is pinching it because I tied it originally with the X knock and not the new lighted nocks, and I think that that's been an issue. But let me find my lighter real quick. All right, and then for this end piece, you know, the standard kind of thing, you take it and bush it out a little bit. It actually helps to create that larger kind of mushroom shape when you burn it. Fraying it out just a little bit gives that material some extra help to spread out. But that's just because I want it to lock on this little metal tab. But let's see. And even with a small one, I've never had it fail on me. So, and I, you know, knock on wood, but you know, once it's burnt, it turns into some pretty strong ending pieces. So, and I just tap the back side of it to flatten it out a little bit more. That way it's nice and secure. And then I just put the tab down. And normally the other one, like I have set up on the other bow, it doesn't really need it, but it has it because this is tensioning here and compressing your string. That way it stays in place. On the other ones, it was a loop through and it came down, and then you had to cinch this down, and then they have these little rubber grommets to keep it from kind of moving around. On my other bow, it doesn't fit in the case if I do that, so I am probably going to leave that original pull through, because then I can loosen it. One of the pieces of my bow cases actually hit this string magically because of however it's set up. But this one, now that it's super tight, I don't think I'm gonna have any issues with it at all. I'm gonna keep messing with it until I feel like it's lost all that extra elasticity, even after me stretching it and pulling on it and doing all that stuff. But then I'll switch it out. But this is what it looks like. This is the R7 Hamskea. You can also see like all the adjustment points on there. It's fantastic. Like they've gone all the way. The only complaint I might have, if any, is going to be that a lot of the pieces and parts and stuff, there's a lot of different screw types and different things that are just different sizes. That's all. There's a lot of different sizes. I'm sure they tried to get as many of the same sizes, but that just means you have to have, you know, kind of a multi-tool setup to make the adjustments on there. Otherwise, it's been pretty much bulletproof, just like the rest of their rests, and I can't complain. You know, obviously, barring the change out of this part here under warranty, it was just probably user error in the long run, but it did end up having some issues. And I needed to get that replaced. They were super good about it. They replaced it for me and sent it out immediately. Hamskea has been probably one of the fastest companies to just jump on it, listen to what the situation is, and try to get their customer taken care of as fast as possible. I appreciate that about a company, period. And as well as they offer a military discount. I can't argue with that either. So, but all right. Thanks, guys. Have a great day.